Yes. All right. We are live. Welcome to Season 9, Episode 2 of the Musty Wargamers. And we have our usual crew. We got Tim up here, the Broken Dice, along with Palmer. And we are missing one man. We're one wingman short of our squadron. He's down. He's into the croplands.
Farmer Dan is down.
Yeah, well, man down.
He's bringing in the crops. So, who knows? He might be out in the field with his phone going, watching us. You never know. He may pop in. It's possible. So, out from the tractor. Coming alive from the tractor. We should have had him do that. Pop in from the tractor. Darn it. Should have sent him a message saying that. But all right, how's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good. I am doing pretty good. Working on some more Scots.
We all Scotland.
Yeah. Then I'll be taking a little break from the painting, and I got all kinds of stuff to do around the house before I take off on my big hunt trip. But I got my big project when I get back all lined up. It's all sitting in a box. Matter of fact, I haven't even opened the box since I purchased all the miniatures.
What project?
So it'll be fun to crack that open when I get back.
And you're going to say what the project is?
Yeah, I'm going to save it. It's going to be a big one.
This is going to be a big one.
It's going to be a big one.
Well, I was digging through my stuff today. So I was tearing my basement apart. If you would have seen it about 3 hours ago, it would have been a pile of boxes everywhere. So I kind of put things back together, and I've been throwing a lot of stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Old boxes. Like I got boxes that just have used sprues in it, still have stuff on the sprues. And it's like, oh, at the time I thought, hey, I'll just take these sprues and eventually I might use what's on them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at them and like, throw them away.
Exactly.
It's like, they're going to the garbage. The boxes go in the recycle bin.
Yep.
It's like, I haven't done anything with them for 10 years. They're gone.
Yeah.
This is a turning point for you, Rusty.
Yes. Sort of related to the topic we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like I decided that some of the stuff I'm going to be doing is just making life easier on people. I got to go through and start. Another thing I got to do is go through it. You can see some boxes right here. I went out and bought a case of these boxes that picked them up off Amazon for $20.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Nice.
They're about this big. You fold them yourself. I've been putting in that rubberized padding.
Yeah.
Here. So I've been taking miniatures. Right now, these are 15 mil miniatures in here. So I've been working on organizing my armies.
Those are the kind of boxes I bought when I was shipping some of my armies off to when I sold them on eBay.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I'm thinking about getting some. I also have, like this stuff here, I have plastic cases too that I'm going to put these into. So eventually. But that's something I've been going to go through is take all my 15 mil armies and put them on, and then I'll print off labels and everything. So each army is labeled for what it is. So, organization, that's the key.
I find that invigorates my hobby time.
Yeah.
When I get things organized, and because I don't know, when I got that project coming up that I'm going to start after I get back from my hunt, and I always feel more invigorated to dive into a project when my hobby room is organized and cleaned up and just now by the time I get done with it, it won't be. But but you know, it helps when I start for one to be organized and cleaned, and it feels like a good starting point.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. That's what I did before the last show, and I've actually gotten more done since then. I mean, like I've not done a lot, but I'm on a better pace than I was. Like I'm actually doing stuff in here, and it's the same reason. I find it's just I think part of it is clutter, but then like kind of just bothering you eventually. But part of it is being reminded by all the stuff that you're kind of were involved with, and when you're trying to start something new, it's just nice to start with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Part of the motivation started with all of my BattleTech miniatures. We had the Kickstarter, the last one that happened, and my son and I both backed the Kickstarter, and we had these two big, massive boxes just taking up space that if you've watched any of the videos, they've been sitting right there. Big boxes, big stack of boxes. And I was like, and I'm like, gosh, I broke the boxes out the other day. I think it would have been Sunday. I looked at them and I was like, realized, man, there's a lot of air here in these boxes because they have you'd have a box about yay big and about yay thick, Yeah. And it might have 4, maybe 5 miniatures in it. And it was just a bunch of air. And then these boxes were stuffed. And it's like, So I went through and took pictures of each box and tore all the stuff out. And when the recycle went out yesterday, the recycle bin was completely full. The garbage can was completely full from all this BattleTech stuff. And now, if I could just, you can see the table right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 200 BattleTech miniatures sitting right there.
Jesus Christ.
And all of yesterday and today, while I was working on my room down here, moving stuff around, all I did was prime miniatures. It's like every 20 minutes I'd go out and flip stuff over and then go work on stuff. Maybe 20, 25 minutes later, go flip them over again, spray the other side, and then bring the stuff in, flip the new group out there. And so that was 2 days worth of priming.
Nice.
So now I just have to sit down and organize them into units and see what kind of color schemes I want to put them together with, what clans I want to do, clan colors, or go that route.
I find that's one of the hardest things for me to. Once I pick my color scheme, I'm good to go.
Yeah,
but it's deciding that color scheme kind of takes me a while.
Yeah, you're sitting there. Indecisiveness is you're like, oh, do I want to go this route? I want to go this route. And you just sit there and just staring at it for a long period of time.
Yep.
And once I decide what I want to do, I'll put them into like Ziploc bags and write on the Ziploc bag what this is going to be. They're all this plastic, so it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So they'll get stuffed into plastic bags with the label on them, and then I'll just pull out the whole bag and then do one unit at a time. I'll batch paint, just like the last batch I did I showed on the last show. I had the white and green unit.
Mm-hmm.
It was 30-something guys, or I think it was 32 BattleTech miniatures. Took me about a week to do them, but it's like once I figured out the color scheme I wanted, I just like, let's go to town on them, and just assembling line.
I hate that. Like when I get a command base, and you want to make it look different than everything else, and you want it to stand out. I'll sit there with that thing on my table and I will stare at it, trying to figure out what do you want to do.
Speaking of which, give me a second. I'm going to grab them.
We got Clyde Dashing in the house. Hey, Clyde.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Otherwise known as Mr. Simon. For those
Yeah,
of you that
he's asking
attend
color-
the Facebook page.
Color choice is what holds me up to what color should I paint this stalker? Speaking of which, where'd they go? Yeah, last night I had this wild hair. I was looking at this Goliath, right? This Goliath model here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it, let's see, right there.
Yeah. I had one of those. I like those.
Yeah, I like the Goliath. It's kind of an interesting mech. I was like about ready to prime it, and then I noticed they had this big, giant pencil-sized stand rod going right through the middle that it was sitting on. And they glued that stand on there so you couldn't remove it. So I was like, what in the heck? What kind of... There was a few colorful metaphors going through my head of the idiot that decided to design it that way. So I broke out my sprue cutters and I just cut that thing off, and then I cut it off the base and glued it down a bit. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's going to work there. It looks better. I could not stand the concept of having this big rod of a mech, quad mech with an extra rod sticking through its gut. So I had to go change that. Couldn't stand it. So there's two of those that came in the thing. So I had two of those. Had to fix both those. And then I was like about ready. And then I noticed the Scorpion mech here. Let's see if I can go solo mode and make it a little bit bigger. You can see the Scorpion mech. It was the same thing. It had this rod going right through the middle of its gut. And
really? So, I never had that on one of mine. I wonder why.
It's the plastic. The new.
I see. Yeah.
Catalyst plastic. And underneath, you see this itty bitty base compared to how much it's sticking out right there. It's like the model is like twice as big as the base. So it has all these legs sticking out. There's a reason why they had this rod going through it. So it was floating in the air on this base. I was like, well, that's just stupid. So I cut it off of it, and then I organized it, and I got, once it's going to be done, it's going to be a dioramic base where it looks like it's walking over like road barriers, because I had some extra sprues from one of my Forge World models I had from way back in the day. They come on the sprue gates.
Yeah, yeah. They look
the
like
res ones. So I cut them down, and it looks like little road barriers that it's walking over. So I made a dioramic base of it. It's going through an urban environment. So I kind of changed it. It's in both of them. So when it's all said and done, it'll look pretty cool. Like it's ripping its way through an urban environment. But it could not stand. You can see like this one leg is free. I don't know if you can see it there. That one leg right there is free floating. All of them were all free floating, not even touching the base. It was like, if you're going to design a mech like that, at least give it a dioramic base to, as Clyde says.
And one big enough for the model to fit on.
Yeah. Shrink the sides of it and make it fit on the base, or make it on a dioramic base or something. So that's a pet peeve of mine, which I have a problem with catalysts.
Did you write him?
No, I haven't. But it just go on deaf ears anyway.
Be the change, Rusty.
Yeah. The Battletech drink. Yes. And it says, what color should I paint the stalker mech? Well, gray and purple. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's like I had issues with the whole thing that was with it. That was what I did until about 3 a.m. this morning, was working on those bases. than getting up in old dark early. So, yes, Free Worlds League. Definitely go with gray and purple. I have a whole bunch of mechs I have in a box that, like I was talking about earlier, where I will be working on making them all Free Worlds League purple and gray looks. It's always nice to have mechs insert for campaigns. That early in the years when I first started playing the game, BattleTech, was that a unit would be 4 mechs of the same color. Now I'm going 12 to 30. So 36 is a nice round number.
Wow.
Well, when you got over 1,000 mechs and vehicles, you can do that now. No.
And counting.
Yes. I'm probably up to about 1,200 now.
This is
Oh
also
my God.
fitting for the show tonight.
Theme? There is no theme.
Fitting for our one of our topics.
Yeah, it's like Clyde just said. Yeah, those last 2 Kickstarters are allowing for entire companies instead of lances now. Yeah, it's like before that, you had to buy everything was in metal, and you'd buy them in 4s and make a lance and color them all the same color scheme for the lance of 4, or 5 for a. Typically, those, if they were clan mechs, I would just stay with a certain clan. It was either Ghost Bear or Wolf. Now I'm thinking of going into some other ones, but when you get 200 mechs and vehicles, yeah, definitely, or put them out into companies or battalions. Oh yeah,
Is that part of your painting update, Rusty?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I was wondering whether we started the updates yet. I wasn't sure.
That's pretty much my update.
Okay. Because Tim mentioned the Scots too, I know.
Yeah.
But and do you have a musty drink for this evening?
Yes.
We've talked about so much BattleTech that I am getting
Thirsty?
really thirsty over here.
Tonight we're doing Crown Royal.
Oh, there you go.
I've never had the black before,
Nice.
so this is new. Comes with a new dice bag too.
There you go. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of Crown Royal dice bags. Smells interesting. Smells like Crown Royal, but with a little darker aspect to it. That is dark.
Yeah, that does look dark.
Yeah.
Does it wash back with a little bit of earthy tones around a leathery aroma?
Not bad. Has a kind of a dark fruit kind of aspect to it, but has a little, I think, a little bit of rye, maybe. Wheat and rye, maybe. Nice stuff. Very dark.
There you go. Nice.
There we go. So that's my update. And what I'll be working on tonight is a little bit of everything. I do have a 15 mil ACW Union troops. I got 75 stands sitting here. And I also have my Hobgoblin bolt thrower and crew I got to work on.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much what I'm working on. Putting off my solo.
Well, I posted the last thing I did on the Facebook page was a unit of Scots. They're back here. Oh, there they are. If I can get them out without dropping them.
nice. Yes, I saw those on the Facebook page.
Let me expand you out here in a second. Here,
Oh,
there you go.
there we go. Yeah. Yeah, they're fun to do. I got like another unit basically this size to do, and then I'll be done for a while because I got to get ready for that hunt and stuff, and then when I get back from that, usually probably about the first week of November, I will break open my big project that's coming. It'll be huge.
Big surprise.
How big was it?
It's my, like the way I do things is like I'll have one great big project for the year, and this will be it. And then normally I try to throw in like some terrain pieces to go with it, or just some odd unit that I normally, like when I do a big project like that, I normally set like a tartan is a bane. Yes, it is. Yes, sir. I can agree with that. So like when I have like extra paint in my palette and stuff, that I can just pull a model over and use it,
Yeah.
Because I hate waste like these little dropper bottles. I love the colors and stuff with Vallejo. I like the paint, but it always never fails. I always put too much in my little on my palette, and I'm always wasting it. It's like I can never put the right amount in.
Yeah, it's either not enough or just too much.
Yeah, or you get that little bit of clog, and it's like, oh, if I squeeze it harder, it'll come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That little tip comes out, and you blow all your paint out on your palette. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, there was one time we got this place called Tasty Tacos here in town. It's a favorite of Jason Momoa. He likes eating at Tasty Tacos. And if you ever looked at Jason lately, he does look like he likes to eat his tacos a lot. But my wife and I were there last time. I guess it would have been maybe about a year ago, and we're got our order in, and it's like shows up, and they have these squeeze bottles with salsa in it, right? And I was like, wanted to squeeze some up on my taco, because it's kind of like it's almost it's not like a taco. It's the same size as a taco shell, but it's thicker, more of a bread taco shell. And I'm like squeezing. It's like, dang, this won't come out. This must have had like a onion chunk or something stuck in it. And I was like squeezing. So all of a sudden, it's like, I was like, well, I'm covered in salsa. I was like, people are looking at me like, oh my God. and one of the workers, the manager was like, comes over, is like, you okay? And I said, yeah, I was trying to get the salsa to come out, and it exploded in my face. I was like, well, we'll comp you your entire meal for the inconvenience of what happened to you. And so it's like I ended up getting got our meal for free and some coupons for coming back.
Wow.
I was just sitting there laughing about it. I was like, aren't you mad? And I was like, why get mad? What the heck, I'm the one who was squeezing it like an idiot.
Not the same thing that you guys are talking about with the squeeze bottles, like of the paint and whatever. But I had, dumped an entire pint of beer. Like I was out with my wife. This wasn't recent. This is like years ago, like 2-3 years ago. But I just were out for dinner, and I just somehow knocked a pint over on the table that was full, and it just went right towards me and went right in my lap. So I got this like cold, and I had shorts on. I was like, had this like ice cold beer like covering me. Like it's like, oh my God. Everybody's looking at me like, ooh, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I had a severe case of blue something that time. Yeah.
Anyway, so shall I do my update, or are you guys not finished?
I'm done. That's all. That's all I've been working. I've been doing. I've been doing all kinds of other stuff. Yeah.
I'm getting thirsty here, so I'm going to have my musty drink soon. I've had a Warhammer fantasy game this week, earlier in the week, the Old World, Orcs Against Orcs, and it was fairly even, actually. It was one of those good battles. It went back and forth. Had just situations where I thought I was, in the advantage. Then my opponent got a whole bunch of stuff happen. I had a whole thing of Black Orcs rout off the table. Big, strong force of Black Orcs just routed, panicked when somebody else got panicked. And then I ended up kind of turning it around where I had 3 units converge in a combat on one of his units and evaporate them. They were all Black Orcs too. And it was just like back and forth, right? Like we both were kind of like at times winning and losing. And it was like, and so it was pretty much a draw. And it was good though. It was a good battle. I thought I was going to have an Adosis Titanicus game tomorrow, but I think because of my motorcycle trip, it kind of threw out my planning with someone. I don't think I actually have that game tomorrow, but in any case, painting wise, I am working still on, but I'm making some progress, but I'm painting up those Boar Boys. No, they're not really old school, but they're at least middle hammer, but they're old. They're still metal Boar Boys. And so I've got 10 of these, and I'm actually getting my base paint going, and they're looking really rough, but I actually did put them on the table this week, despite that. And and I've got some my knights. I got 2 of these guys that just started putting together today.
Okay.
Get 4 of them. They don't have arms on right now, but I'm going to get 4 of these guys going and set up for
Adeptus Knight Lancer.
Yeah, we've talked about them a lot on the channel recently. Like we've showed pictures of your large Cerastus Knights, and I've showed the box, but I'm kind of assembling them, which is nice for the actual Musty show tonight. I just opened this. I got this as a gift last year, either on Christmas holidays or Father's Day or something. It's Taylor Flegat. It's port. It's a fine white port. And so,
it is.
Yeah. And so I'm going to taste this because when it said it was white, I was a little suspect here, but it actually looks, it's not as ruby red as some of the ports that I'd had before on the show. Like this one is definitely lighter. It's almost like my shirt, in the sense that it's like
it's almost a rosé.
Well, it's very orange, I almost find.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try it out here. It's nice. Yeah. Definitely tastes like a port. That's good. And yeah, it's nice. It tastes a little different than the ones that I typically drink. And I think that is because it's a fine white, I suppose. This thing says established in 1692. Taylor.
1692.
Independent family company since the founding in 1692.
Where is it bottled at?
Good question. Oh, well. I'm not sure if I can read it. And it's not because I've dipped into this early or anything, but take a look at this and you tell me.
It's time to break out the steampunker. This bottled.
Yeah. I actually can't.
I'm having a hard
it's not
time
in English. It's not in English, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's where you break out your phone and take a picture of it and zoom it in.
Oh, I can see it up close, and I still. Oh, it's Portugal.
Portugal.
Which I guess makes sense. Probably makes sense. Well, at least in the top sticker, it's saying, by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth, suppliers of port wine, Taylor's Port, Portugal. That's what's on the sticker on the top, but I can't read the language on the bottle. So it doesn't seem like it's from Canada.
Probably not. The port reinforced wine usually comes out of Portugal or Spain. Typically.
So you could probably go back to the big picture, the group shot. Do you want to start with the topic? The first topic, the one that you had introduced?
Yeah, we can. A second minute. The first topic is what will happen to my stuff when I'm gone?
Isn't that the thing that we worry about every day when we leave our stuff?
Yeah. There's been times when my stuff has come up missing, and I was there.
You've lost armies that way.
Oh. Wow. That has a kind of a sweetness to it. That definitely got some weed in it.
Weed?
But yeah, I'll just kind of kick it off here, which has been the focus of my basement touring, digging through stuff here lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to do is get my table here cleaned off, organized. Once I get all that Battletech stuff out of the way, I'm going to clean off that whole table, and I'm going to turn around and take stuff off the shelves back here and elsewhere, and just start going through things and just seeing what's needed and what's not needed anymore.
Right.
The whole concept is that we're not going to be around here forever, and I've been playing. Tim's been around playing games for a while too, but
I don't have nearly as much stuff as you do, Rusty.
Well, you still got stuff.
I got stuff. That's for sure.
And you've been playing games for a long period of time too.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people I played with over the years. There's individuals I used to play with in the early 90s or late 80s that are gone now. A bunch of us that were young guys back in the 80s are now in our 60s. So this kind of like time is catching up with you.
Yep.
And I've had individuals that were known that they were in their 30s or 40s that are now past the mortal coil. And you're just kind of thinking, we're not on this earth indefinitely. We better start thinking about how I'm going to deal with all this and what goes where. And if I need to just worry about passing it on, if my, who's going to get this, or if it's just going to end up in the garbage heap someplace. That's kind of like where I'm thinking of right now.
So what are you going to do? What have you thought?
My initial thought is figure out what is the stuff that individuals probably won't even want to play with or even think about playing with. And that's the stuff that is probably going to end up go to like eBay just to clean it out.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like either pay some bills down or get more Battletech stuff. I don't know.
Get more stuff with it. That's funny.
Well, we just can't stop
myself here.
You can't stop. It's like
can't stop cold turkey like that.
God, what are you crazy?
God.
I'm only half the picture here. There's another side to me.
Wow.
And it's the same thing. It's like I got you've seen all the bookshelves I have down here. I got lots of books and stuff too. It's like that's going to go between my son and my daughter. They're the ones that will be collecting it. It's like, yeah, you guys divvy up and like fight over whatever books you want. So
fight over them.
Look, my son will take the sci-fi books, and my daughter will take the fantasy books. That's probably how it's going to go. But that's kind of like what I'm thinking of right now. I'll delve more into it in a little bit once I hear from all you. But
yeah, it's too bad we don't live in a time when you can have grave goods. Where they could dig up our tombs.
Yeah.
A few thousand years from now, and over on one side of our casket would be line of troops of some army we've painted, and on this side, whatever other hobbies you have, and they'd break it up, break our tomb open, and go, what was up with these guys and these little tiny dudes?
These days, all the graves and tombs will be piped into social media and live broadcast.
Yeah.
They'll open up and it's like expecting to have a phone in their hand in the tomb, and no, it's surrounded by analog miniatures.
Well, and I was thinking about this when I read the topic, and I thought to myself, it would be fun to have some things placed in the casket that, maybe one or two like miniatures, or something. But then I started thinking, it's like, well, it goes through cycles. About every 100 years, there's a brand new crop of human beings on the planet. They have no other than a memory of who came before, maybe a photo. And no actual physical connection to that human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, maybe I should just melt it all down. Make my casket out of all my miniatures. Make it out of plastic. Just melt it down into some big sheet.
Make it out of sprues.
Yeah.
Make a big giant.
What'd be funny is melt it all down and then make it like a death mask out of it, like King Tut had, just and then have some artist paint it up, that throws some people for a loop when they cracked open my tomb. So what is up with this old dude?
Yeah, they're building a new housing addition, and they bulldoze over the old cemetery, and not knowing there's a cemetery there anymore.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, dug up some more bodies.
Clyde says future historian sees 40K army and tomb and assumes it was a religious thing.
Well, not wrong. Not wrong. I've been in a room with people where you would think that it was their religion.
Exactly.
And that corpse will probably smell better too.
Oh.
I don't mean about. I'm not talking about.
Right out husk.
That was a joke. That was a general comment. That was a general comment.
Like, a lot of people don't realize that if you put it into a casket, and you usually turn into a big pile of soap.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about this too, because I'm already kind of like, I'm not getting rid of all my stuff, but I'm already in the mindset. Like, I'm going to probably be looking at going to a smaller house in the near future, like in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to likely have the size room that I have now, in that house, or a spot. And I may not even have a dedicated room. I might not even have a room that's just only for this, which is what this is. And I'm already thinking about it. And I'm already thinking about what are the things that I get rid of and what are the things that I keep. And, and some of that's miniatures and some of that's equipment. Like, I'm not sure that I'll have the same exact 3D printing area in the next version of my home.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I think it's healthy. People are going to be like booing when they watch this video and throwing stuff at the screen, but I think it's healthy to prioritize what you like the most and kind of just find that sweet spot and enjoyment if you want to continue as you know, over time and you know what I mean? And just, you know, like finding, you know, that spot where you still enjoy what you're doing and you're working on stuff, but you don't have to have, you know, a huge hoard of stuff that you've collected that you don't know what you'll ever do with, you know? And so I think that I will, you know, I think it's a good thing, you know, and I also think it's a good thing to be able to still have projects, you know, even though you don't have a ton of stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's like keeping your toes in the hobby. You know, it's like I found myself not as 3D printing as much as I used to, but I still do it to add supplement stuff now. It's like before I was just like, oh, going hog wild doing this or that and everything. But who knows if when the 3D printer dies and, you know, gives up its mortal coil, will like replace it type of thing. But
what a lot of people I think don't think about what about like when they pass and like their possessions is that they think that either they're doing a good thing by leaving it to people,
yeah,
or by not getting rid of it because for nostalgic reasons. But in the end, what they're often doing is making things difficult for those that are closest to them because they don't really want to throw it away, but they also don't know really how to get rid of it right, if that makes sense. And so I think that in the end, you know, we think we're doing a good thing for ourselves and for others by maintaining these precious items, you know, but I think it's better to be selective. And what I mean by that is like I've had relatives that have passed, like my grandfather and stuff, that had things, you know, like my grandfather played steel guitar, had a steel guitar, you know what I mean? Like had just stuff. And those things, you know, some of them are mementos that people in the family have kept as a like kind of thing of remembrance of him, you know? Yeah. That's cool. And I think there is a place for that. I mean, like we paint beautiful miniatures and like my French Indian War collection, I don't know that I'll ever get rid of it. Even in that case, like it may be the thing that somebody will either decide they want to keep some of it, like, you know, just to have on a shelf, just as a, you know, a remembrance of what I did, like, you know, and things like that, or they just get rid of it and that's fine. But I probably won't get rid of it. You know what I mean? And I probably will just, I'll leave that for them, but I probably won't leave all my Warhammer stuff for them. You know, ooh, sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's I probably won't you know, leave certain things for them to deal with. So
yeah.
Well, there's a lot of wholesalers, I know that you can sell some of your stuff to those people, and you'll get pennies on the dollar, obviously. But at least your stuff, I would like if. At least I know that some of my stuff that I've sold, you know, like some of my old Warhammer armies and stuff, are in the hands of people that play. You know, they wouldn't have spent all that money on it to not keep it and have it. Now, whatever they wind up doing it, but at least I know I moved it on to another player. I think a lot of us would like to have that be the option. And I think I would be willing to pay, you know, to take a hit on it and sell it to someplace like, well, like there's Noble Knight Games. They buy some stuff. There's that, he's in all the wargaming magazines and stuff. There's a Colonel something or other. You know, you get all kinds of companies that buy old miniatures and stuff and then resell them and stuff. And you're going to get pennies on the dollar, but you have the satisfaction of knowing that there's the possibility that it's going to be put in the hands of another player.
Yeah.
Another generation of player. one of the things you could do is like go to your local gaming store and just auction off all your stuff to local people.
Yeah.
Especially like where you live, Palmer, where there's a fairly good size gaming community and stuff. I would think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, no, there is. And there's another good option too, that kind of falls in line with what you're saying. There are also, at least around here, but I've heard, I think in the US too, but there are programs in schools where teachers sometimes teach wargaming to kids. And they're usually like young guys that are teachers, but they happen to wargame and they just have a program where they do, some wargaming at the school. Yeah, and they have a club. And I actually think it's cool to donate models too, like the situations.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, and I would definitely consider that as well. Yeah, no, I think there are lots of options for it. But yeah, no, it is interesting. There was a time when I never could think of getting rid of anything that I've painted. Like anything that I've painted, I felt had a hard time, but I've kind of gotten past that.
Yeah, after your Malifaux getting that.
Yeah, I sold the Malifaux, and then
that was your first step.
That was the first time, I've ever done that.
I know what you mean. It's like when you first get in, just like, oh man, I got all this time into something, and I painted it. It's really nice, and you're like, I just can't get rid of it. And then you think about it and go, no, am I ever going to use this again?
Exactly.
It's like, is it just collecting dust on the shelf? Can I just sell it to pass it on to someone else that is going to use it and enjoy it?
Right.
And that's what you have to just start thinking of it is that I'm going to just pass this on to someone that will use it, or do they just throw it in their pile and eventually they'll get rid of it too? But it's like, it's out of my hand and I'm no longer thinking about it.
Right.
And that's the mindset I'm at right now is that I just have to start clearing things out. They're still going to have stuff in the, a lot of the armies I got on my cabinets over there, my display cabinet. It's a lot of that stuff is I got a lot of work into them. I enjoy looking at them. It's like, oh yeah, it's like my display cabinet of, hey, that's cool. But
I think it's nice to have display stuff.
What's that?
It's nice to have display stuff too.
Yeah. And just because I have an army on display doesn't mean I have to keep that entire army.
Mm-hmm.
I could pare it down to just what's left in the case over there, and that's it. And everything else is just like, I'm not keep what I want, really the smallest amount that I'm just like, hey, yeah, I enjoyed that. It looks really good, but the rest of you got to go. And because some of those armies I have probably 10 years since I rolled dice for them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, really, if I haven't used them in that amount of time, really, is it worth keeping them around?
Well, this topic is like, my mom moved. We had to move her into a nursing facility, assisted living, and going through all of her things and stuff. And she mentioned, she said she was kind of nostalgic about some of her stuff. And I said, well, Mom, it's one of the things that we all do is that we all try to think that other people will value the things that we have in the same way and at the same degree that we valued them. It's like going to a yard sale and somebody's they've got like price tags on it for ridiculous amounts for a yard sale. And that is because normally what they're doing is they're trying to sell you their emotional attachment to whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And I think we'll run into that problem ourselves because all the effort it takes to assemble and paint and travel and play and just all the stuff that went into each and every army, we'll have to do that. We'll have to meet that where we're okay, I can't ask what I feel like it's worth. I have to ask someone to pay for what it is actually worth to them.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be it won't be easy. I can guarantee all of us that it won't be an easy process.
Now, we went through something similar to that with my mother-in-law. My father-in-law passed away, and she decided that she wanted to move to a retirement home. She
Mhm.
went from across the state to south of here, and moved into an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, small, and then you get assisted,
Right.
thing. And she was that was 20 years ago, and she would have been in her late 60s at the time, about your age. So it was
What you
like,
saying, Rusty?
but it was one of those things where she's like, well, I'm not old enough really to be retired in a retirement home like this,
Right.
but I don't want to have to worry about it years down the road. So she just up and said, all right, anybody that wants anything, just come over by the house. We're going to spend a day, and we'll just go around and everybody gets a packet of stickers, and you just put a sticker on it. If you want, if multiple people want it, then you can discuss it amongst yourself who's going to get it. And they went around the whole house, and it's like, stuff that has this color sticker on it, that's what I'm keeping. That's for me. And then everybody else went around and said, oh, I want this. And then it was like, there were certain things that I was like, okay, this is between the girls and my brother-in-law. And they just sit around and decide what they wanted. And it's like anything left over. And it's like, I'll take that, that, and that, and that. It's like, anybody having a problem with that? It's like, okay. But, it's just things that, it's like I see value in just keeping it because it's useful. I didn't have any sentimental value to anything that they were keeping per se.
Right.
And the only thing I kind of drew the line on is like they had a bunch of pictures and stuff like that from family photos, and it's like I'm just gonna throw all these. No, you're not throwing those out. You keep the family photos type of thing, but
yeah, like I got a tub full of family photo albums, and I got the old family Bible and stuff, because that's something I think a lot of families don't have anymore, was that was how you recorded all the family marriages and deaths and births and stuff, was in the back of the family Bible.
Yep.
And I've got that and all the photo albums and stuff. And, young kids today, if it's not digital and on their phone, well, it doesn't seems like something that they would want.
yeah.
So I've got them in a big tub underneath my stairs, and they're all well protected. But even with that stuff that I've got from my mother, who am I going to send that on to?
Yeah.
It's
Walkabout Games has joined the room, folks.
Yep.
Chris
is in the house. Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to sit down. Now, let's go to the comments up here. Start. Clyde said, "My eldest son gets first dibs, then the second, and then so on." It's like as you go through, and that's where with the. A good example is what happened with my wife's family, is that they just went around and kind of like auction themselves amongst themselves, like claiming things, and then decide amongst themselves what's what and what they're going to keep. And that's kind of like, in some ways, is that some of the stuff just like clear it out before you have to make any decisions on that, and take it out of their hands so they don't have to worry about it. And like Palmer said earlier, is that there's a time when it's like, really, are you just causing more problems for the family because they have to turn around and figure out what the heck to do with all this stuff?
Yep.
And I just would rather start cleaning things out. And it's like, I just remember when I first moved into this house, this whole basement was empty when we moved in. There was nothing down here other than my mountain bikes. Like, that's where I stored them down here. And then eventually it slowly added more and more and more. Eventually I'm thinking, well, there's going to become a time when I'm going to probably have to get back to the whole idea that by the time I'm ready to go, most of this down here should be gone, or very little of it left.
What do you mean by getting ready to go?
That could be tomorrow. It could be 20, 30 years from now. You never know.
Getting ready to go like to another place, or like to another place?
Well, you never know. You can make the decision to go to another place by moving, or the big guy in the sky just says, it's time for you to move.
It's time to go to another place.
You're done. Because unfortunately, we don't make it. None of us makes it through this.
And so nobody gets out alive.
Yeah. Trial by combat decides all.
Trial by combat.
How dare you refuse my batch all? Future historians sees 40K army in Tomb, assumes it was a religious thing. Yes. Probably dropped the Malifaux. Yes, it's time. But I haven't even seen anything Malifaux in forever.
Is it even produced coming out? There's a third edition, I thought, but I don't know.
I haven't even seen
stuff about a third edition.
The thing is, I haven't seen even miniatures being sold anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're just time.
I think that was one of those games that it almost hit the mark.
Yeah,
but
I like playing.
Just didn't quite. There was something that didn't appeal to me about it. I liked the general idea of it, but there were parts of it that I don't know. I just couldn't get into.
Was it the card system, or was it?
It was a few of the factions and the card system, and it seemed like it was just a one-off game all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there was no connectivity between the different factions and stuff, really. And I felt like that was where they kind of missed the mark.
Each group was
where there needed to be more of an idea of how it was playing out with each faction as it relates to each other, as opposed to what we do. And I think a lot of people love that kind of stuff, where the storyline and the what's the word for it? Okay, there's a word. I can't. It's like all the lore and stuff that goes with it.
Fluff and
yeah, and it just doesn't.
What's the end game of it?
Yes.
What was the whole goal of all the factions? What were they fighting for?
Yes. Yeah. What's other than just local dominance of this tabletop? You know, and it just never seemed like there was something bigger than. It's not like you wanted to play the bigger game, but you wanted to see that connection to this bigger world.
Yeah.
And where this fell in. It almost seemed like everything was just right there on the tabletop, and that was it. You know, and maybe I'm completely off of it, but
I think that was a family emergency. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna be able to come back, but I just got a phone call. I'll check in with you guys in a second.
Go get it.
Okay.
Hope everything's all right. That was one of those games that I thought was just the.
I like the miniatures and everything.
I mean, once they got away from all the tiny little bits that went on the face. And
Oh,
remember that you had to put the guy's face on?
yeah.
It was like,
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
want to.
the masks, you know, it's like,
Yeah, it was like, oh my god. Yeah, but the theme, the overall idea of it, that steampunky, that like almost pre-Sherlock Holmes into Sherlock Holmes sort of an idea, and that the weird and the quirky, and it almost was like when they decided to go really quirky with a lot of the factions. I think that's where they lost me, because if I thought I was like, well, kind of like they're playing 40K, like with demons and all that kind of stuff. You know, I love the idea of having henchmen and you're one big bad guy and these different factions and stuff. And here's an idea that really kind of threw me off. It's like when I first got into it, I had the relic hunters.
Yeah.
And I thought, a lot of the storylines and the games will be around hunting relics and that sort of theme. Are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm okay. No, I just had a family member fall in the garage and just kind of take a little skin off, but apparently they're fine.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was one of those things.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Your daughter or your wife?
Family member.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Family member.
To be texted later, but not disclosed. Anyways.
Oh, man.
But no, you know, it's just one of those things. End of the day, you work late.
You trip over the lawnmower and take a header.
Yeah.
Who put this grom in the way?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I didn't know how. I got a phone call from somebody else, and I didn't know how bad it was, and so
yeah,
it sounded like it wasn't good. But
nothing like arterial spray, so you're good, right? It was just like the other day, my wife took a header down the stairs here.
Oh my!
Yeah, she was. What night was Saturday night? We're gonna watch a Bond movie and made popcorn. I carried my popcorn down. She was carrying her popcorn down, and she went.
Ooh.
I just realized there's still popcorn laying over there. I just moving some stuff around. Still found some popcorn flying everywhere. It's like, dang it! Like,
that's much more than the 5-second rule now.
Oh God, yes. It's like the 1 second rule was too much for me. But yeah, it's like I know what you mean, Tim, about that game. I liked a whole lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept, it was pretty decent. I liked the miniatures, how they looked. But like you did say, what was the end goal of all these factions? Where were they going with all this? What was the reason? You know?
Yeah.
Why is everybody fighting so much?
And what are they fighting about?
But yeah, it's like next comment here is if a non-family wants my BattleTech stuff, they have to pay emotional attachment prices. Family can have it for free, but non-family, sorry, you're paying for it. It's like some of those are antiques, man. It's like I got BattleTech miniatures that are, God, they're almost 40 years old.
Right.
I got BattleTech miniatures older than some of the players today. And they look like it too when I painted them. Ugh, they were bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. Real bad. They're bad.
Yeah, it is kind of funny when you think about how we used to paint back in the day. And I don't know. I mean, I was a I wasn't even what you would consider a hack painter when I first started.
Oh, it'll just
And it's I still got like my Empire Army has a lot of miniatures in it that you still has testers paint on them.
yeah.
And I want to strip them and redo them because I know I could make them look really good now. But it's something about,
The life history there.
yeah, it's something about that's part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was part of that was the beginning. That was the stepstone. That was that first moment. And I don't know, I have a hard time. Like I have one of those Citadel made, like when I first got into it, there were these boxes of halberdiers, and they're the monopose,
Yes, I have.
kind of chunky guy with the halberd.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a bunch of oh my god, yep.
Nope.
And yeah, those. And I got a bunch of them, and I painted them up in like units of 20, and and a lot of them are just horrendous looking. They're horrendous, and I still can't bring myself to strip them and paint them.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm stripping off some high quality paint job. It's just that they were the beginning. As a matter of fact, I think they were like the very first thing I ever tried to paint was those halberdiers. Because my undead army, the very first part of my undead army I bought, I bought it used, and somebody had painted it all up. They did an okay job with it, with skellies, you know.
Uh-huh.
What are you gonna do with skellies? And I remember I bought that, and that didn't need hardly anything at all, you know, except for whatever I bought in addition to. And but those halberdiers, I every once in a while I'll open that cabinet up and look at them and go, man, I ought to just put those in some stuff and strip that paint off and redo them. And I still to this day can't bring myself to do it.
I know what you mean. It's like when I first started painting my Battletech stuff, it was Tester's paint.
Yeah.
Everything was Tester's paint. And then around 90, I think it was, I found Poly S paints that were recommended to me by John. He used to own Alliance Miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
He did historicals. And you got to try these because we were playing a game. And he's like, what are you painting those things with Testers? And he's like, and he went over to the shelf and he was like, showed some bottles of Poly S paints. And he's like, these are acrylics. You got to put a primer on them first, but then primer? What do you mean?
Yeah, wait, paint before I paint? No way.
It's like, I never had to worry about that with this Testers.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's how he taught me, basically a little bit of rudimentary stuff about how to paint with Poly S paints, which I still have some Poly S paints here somewhere.
Yeah, all my D&D miniatures that I painted in the late 80s, the Julie Guthrie step miniatures and stuff, were all Testers.
That was this thing you found at like Walmart, it's like the only paints I knew about because that's what I put on my models, my plastic models. And it's like, oh yeah. And you just start realizing there's other places to get stuff, and then you just evolved. But like Clyde said, we're all talking about how everyone's leaving their minis to Palmer as their youngest.
Yeah.
There you go.
The last surviving Musty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even Dan's older than you.
Even Dan.
Yeah. It says, I'm getting cremated with all my stuff, Palmer. You're out of luck.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm going up like in a Viking.
Yeah.
Send me out on a Viking warship and cremate me with all my miniatures and all my lead and pewter models will just get melted into a big slag pile underneath me.
When the GW plastic miniatures finally catch on to the fire, a big purple flame will just, shoot up into the sky.
Big for purple.
It'll be like this ignition that happens.
I'll just tell them to sprinkle my body and everything with borax, so when it's going off, I'll have green flames licking off of me. So they're like, "Oh, he's a necromancer."
No, that's
Those must have been the Dark Elves.
Yeah. Some things in the game are complicated when they needed not. Yeah, it's like that was the thing about Malifaux, is that there were some complicated things.
Yeah, it was almost like needlessly complicated.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. I got into it, but I didn't really play it much at all. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. It was one of those things that it was so close, and then it missed the mark, and then it just drifted.
Yeah. And he says when 3rd edition replaced 2nd, they sold the company to a new owners, I think, and it dropped off the face of the earth. I didn't want to get all new cards and start learning all new stuff. That's the same thing that happened to War Machine and Hordes.
Kind of the same time period, too.
Yeah, they went to a new edition, and it just crapped out because they changed the whole thing trying to make it better, and it made it worse. And people just like flushed it, and it just died overnight. It's like, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem I've always had with Games Workshop, is that 40K wasn't really that bad. Then they turned around and made it into Sigmarine, and it just crapped out. It's like, I think it's crap now, but
You tried playing the recent game, didn't you?
I did try the new 40K, and I didn't like it at all. It just didn't appeal to me.
I didn't really hear how that
40K
went
anymore.
I don't remember you talking about it. I know you talked about playing, like going to play it, but I don't remember you talking about.
Yeah, we gave it a go, and I just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like after decades of playing 40K, this didn't feel like 40K. Now, if I was coming into it fresh and never played the game before, I would know the difference and probably would be happy and love it.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you get into something, it just doesn't feel the same. It's like, And that's what happened with War Machine. I used to play that. I used to play it into the ground all the time and just loved it. And then they changed it, and I was like, this doesn't feel the same anymore. There's something missing. If you're missing a flavor that you always loved playing, and it no longer has that flavor,
Yes.
it tastes bland to you. It's like, you quit eating something,
Or maybe it's that it had too much flavor, and that you kind of liked it to be a little bit blender.
When it came to 40K, no, it was bland.
Bland, okay.
That's the same thing that happened to Dystopian Wars, is that they went to the new system and they changed it, and it didn't have any flavor. It just was so bland. The factions didn't have any uniqueness to them that I felt. So it's like I just couldn't get into it. Good Lord, the tiny beard on the Chinese guy.
Oh my God, I remember that. Yes.
What was
Oh.
I was gone?
It's like your friend was tweezers. There's a lot of things that you needed tweezers to get it put together, hold it. Because your big fat fingies couldn't get a hold of parts.
Yeah, there were a couple of them you had to actually glue the face onto the head.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, this was ridiculous.
Why can't you just make this one piece?
Well, GW used to do that. Remember with the Beastmen? Like the metal Centaurs? You had them?
I have those, yeah.
And remember, you had to glue on that one horn?
Yeah.
You had one little bitty horn that you had to glue on.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Why are you doing this to us?
And that's the same way with BattleTech. Is that you have these metal miniatures and it is like 100 different pieces. Why can't you just have this one piece?
Yes.
One leg. No, I don't want to put 3 parts together of one leg. Just make it one piece.
Yes.
Glue that leg to this leg into the hip section and call it good. No, I had to hold these different pieces together to make it stand. No.
Especially some of them, like the Marauder.
Yes.
Yes. Those spindly legs.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's one model I'm happy to see in plastic. Which I have like 4 or 5 new Marauder models now. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 new Marauder models. They got the what the heck they call the salvage boxes, and I got a whole bunch of Marauders. I got 8 Devastators, 8 Marauders, 4 Krakens. Like, who needs 4 Krakens? Man, ridiculous. Some of these heavy assaults. He's like, holy poly, yes, I'm having flashbacks. Yes, it was like Game Changers having. I had to learn how to paint when it came to poly S paints showing up. But it was a lot of poly S stuff went on. Really, the first time I started using poly S was on my Epic, 40K Epic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's like almost all that it was poly S paints. And then I started using it on my BattleTech miniatures and stuff. And then my first 40K army, my, what do you call them? Ultramarines and my Imperial Guard. Remember the old plastic Imperial Guardsmen?
Yes.
It's like, and my orcs, those were all poly S's too. So, one of our guys in a group was always painting everything with apple barrel. Mm-hmm. And he just, they look terrible. They're all streaked and slimed over because he just put it on there and it's like, oh, that's terrible. And he says, I need a cruise ship for your Viking warship for burial.
Yes.
What are you saying? You need a big cruise ship to take everything with you?
Just 3D print one.
There you
3D print one.
So many games crap out when they make it, so you have to buy more than a rule book, like card decks and stuff.
Yeah.
I like if you have card decks to as an addendum to the game, not a necessity. So if there are something, one thing I did like what GW started doing, which they kind of took the Spartan Games did, was that they just put up your army list would be up online. You just download it. That was nice. So you didn't have to worry about buying books and stuff like that for Dystopian Wars. So if you just wanted to see what the army is, you just download the Navy or the Army and just go town with it from that way. But when you have to buy decks every time, it's like that's what happened with War Machine, was that when they went to the new edition, you had to buy all new cards, which wasn't overly like maybe $25-$30. I can't remember how much it was at the time. Wasn't really expensive, but you also had to put in a new rule book and stuff too, and then had to learn how to. Your whole faction changed. They totally revamped how each unit interacted with the synergy. You had to relearn how to do all the synergy with all the units, and it was like,
Yeah, that's why I got out of Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, the synergy. If you can't figure out the synergy of an army, then you're always behind the power curve against those that have figured it out.
Yeah, and it was changing so much, and there were so many factions that you didn't even have a clue. I mean, what they could do, and all their special rules, and it got to the point where I was special ruled out.
Yeah. That's one thing that I learned early was when 93, 94. Was it 94? When Magic the Gathering came out, and playing that and learning how the cards interacted in synergy with all the different cards. It's like that gave me a big heads up when it comes to playing a lot of other, like why I did so well at War Machine, because units would synergize with other units and figuring that out.
Yeah.
And
that was one thing it took me a long time, because I always like kind of bought the units that I liked, or what I thought seemed like the right mix.
Yes.
Rather than playing to a meta.
Yeah.
And I was always getting beat pretty badly. And I just, when I found out, when it really dawned on me what was going on, I was going, oh. So I started looking at the math and everything, and it would be like, well, I'm going to bring the same army every time. It's the thing that gives me the greatest chance of winning. Why would I bring it? And then I thought, yeah, it's like, I found that absolutely boring. That's, if you wanted to win, this is what you took.
Exactly.
Because it gave you your best odds against everybody. So what I started doing is I just started building armies with the weakest units in the entire game and tried to bring as many of them as possible. I went to completely, like I made up an Empire army one time, and it was just all nothing but spearmen and halberdier guys. But I had a lot of them. Again, it was, you weren't going to win anything, but to see the looks on people's faces when you started putting out like block after block of 20 spearmen, it's like, yeah, I don't think you got enough bullets.
Especially if you're playing a objective game.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, can you handle me sitting on all the objectives with all these units? Yeah, you're going to kill units, because like if you're looking at Warhammer, Hero Hammer, where yes, you can run around with a lot of big heroes with big giant choppies, but you can't be everywhere. Yes. And that's the last when Palmer and I played our game, was that I had some heroes, but they had nothing on them. I had one hero with one weapon. That was it. It was like, okay, I just throw a whole bunch of guys that were bare bones. They had nothing on them.
Literally bare bones.
Literally.
Literally bare bones. Yeah.
I did the old mass quantity. I'm just going to steamroll you with lots of shots from nobody troops.
I remember some of those big cobra looking things you had, though, were pretty good.
Yeah, they what the hell, the necro
Sphinx? No, not necro Sphinx.
They're Necropolis Knights.
Yeah, those actually were pretty.
Yeah, they had those with the poison what the heck, the poison bite or whatever they have on those things. Poison attacks, which work pretty good for just random attack and hitting people.
Yep.
FYI, Lan Lo is the Malifaux character with the tiny beard part. Oh, yeah. That reminds me of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Jack.
Yeah.
I played the first edition with the metal minis and brought 2 plastic boxes and was like, what the F? How many cards? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awful. And a buddy of mine, I forget what faction it was, but it was one of them. And my God, they had all these tiny little pieces and stuff, and it was like all these little things that I thought, there's no way I want anything to do with that. you know.
Oh, what the heck? It was the they were the little puppet faction. They had the dolls and stuff.
Yes.
It was like they were cool models. I liked the look of them after you got them all put together. But I remember some of those models I had to use tweezers to get them together.
Yep.
Who knew that LFO would have such a good showing tonight?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like an LFO.
It's because Dan isn't here. Dan's the draw.
Right.
Yeah. See, it was like Dan's not putting us towards a different direction.
Yeah.
Every 10 years, you have to learn a new way to painting, it seems. Yeah, I'd say so. There's always something new coming along, new paints. It's like recently, the latest change is all the contrast paints.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big
not for
change.
me. Not for me, but for everybody else.
Yeah. The next previous change of that was Games Workshop's not the contrast, but their washes.
Yes.
That was a big game changer too. It's like,
oh yeah. Yeah. The very first, did you do this? Go through that phase where with the washes, I washed everything heavy.
Too heavy.
Heavily washed because it was such a dramatic change.
Yeah.
It took a long time to realize that you didn't have to use as much, and you did it in strategic application of the wash instead of just. You remember back in the day when they would dip the skeletons and dip everything.
The army painted dips.
I was gonna say that was a big change because even though it's similar to washing, it's not really the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge industry thing for a bit.
Yep,
for sure.
But it took me a while to get out of that. Of course, it was easy. When I first started doing a lot of that stuff, I had my Beastmen. And Beastmen, you could wash them and make them look as dirty and as grungy as you wanted, and it just went right with it. Yeah. But then you tried to do some questing nights or something like that. It was a completely different issue.
Yeah.
Especially the way they did the questing nights. Now, if they'd have done the original stuff, which was more like Norman Knights and early medieval period, you could have gotten away with it. But when they went for more of the high Middle Ages with the big helms and all the tabards and all that kind of stuff, then you really couldn't utilize the washes so liberally.
Yeah, it went to the from the kind of the Middle Ages to the Arthurian
yes,
legend knights type of thing, from King Arthur, Excalibur movie. That's how it's like. And it's every 10 years you need a new way. That's I remember the first change was going to polyester paints. That was a big change for me. Learning how to use acrylic paints instead of the testers, enamels.
Yep.
That was a big change. And then I learned that, there's this thing called dry brushing. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then they came along and the inks came along. And I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I used to love those inks.
Man, but
yeah.
You had to sit on them. It's you put the ink on and you got to let them dry. There was
yes.
no, with the new washes, an hour later you could go back and paint again because they dry so quickly.
They were also really concentrated. Some of those original inks. Yeah.
Yeah, they were so concentrated, and you'd sit there and it's okay, put the wash on them and then come back 2 days later and hope that it's dry enough to just put paint on again. I made the mistake. It's it's really evident. If you ever look at my mummy bone giant I have, that was the first model I put ink on. And it's I wasn't expecting it. I thought it would be dry the next day, and I went over it and hit it with paint again, and it's and it all just kind of blended together, and I was actually, that don't look so bad. It does look like you just came crawling out of the dusty tomb. So it's every
5-10 years they come up with something new, and we have to figure out how to use it. And it's just another tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed when those washes first come out. I thought, because you'd see what they did with them, and it really did. It took like okay, passable paint jobs, and if you applied it the right way, they really stood out on the table, especially like at a distance, you know.
Yeah.
And that 3-foot rule thing, they could look really good. That was a lot of fun. I really got. I think that was kind of when I began to actually try to paint early on, you know, with the inks, and because I remember I did something, I forget, they had like this really deep red ink color, and I loved that thing. I moaned a bit about when they stopped making those inks and just went all, well, actually they stopped the inks long before they did the washes.
Oh yeah,
because you can get inks from other people, but Games Workshop stopped doing their inks, and I had a whole I used every bit of that stuff up. Yeah, I love those things.
The inks disappeared, what, about 96 maybe?
God, yeah, they weren't around very long.
About 3-4 years.
Yeah, because I remember I had quite a bit of them for a while, and then, you know, then those washes came around, and it was just, that was a game changer as far as. And now you got speed paints and washes, and, you know, they got those where you have like the what is it, the triad things, where, you know, you got your, you know, your base, your highlight, and your, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's almost, they're doing a lot of work for you. Just say, buy these 3 and buy this, and buy, you know, this is how you apply this, and then you go on, which would have been really great for me back in the day when I first started out, because I knew nothing about painting anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, one of the things I've been playing around with lately in the last year is Lamia Media.
Mm-hmm.
Get it from Games Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
You can now buy it in big giant bottles. I think it comes from Army Painter, but I've been making like my own wash. It's like this right here is my own special wash blend. It's got a skeleton horde contrast, and it has sewer, and it's got several different kinds of paints and stuff, contrast paints mixed together. So I get my own contrast base that I use to mix with some Lamia Media for, you know, doing bone and the Death Guard. They're pre-Fall to Chaos Death Guard. Gives them a nice dirty look to them, and then I go back over it, you know, with the original Wraithbone again, and then white over top of that, and it gives a nice tricolor look to it. But it's just like things you learn over the years. If I know what I know now, go back 35 years, it's like, yeah, they've been golden demons possibly. If I know what I know now and paint like I can now, there probably would be a golden demon. It's like, you think about it.
Yeah.
I started enamels, then oils and polyester. Then it was the original GW paint that set the gold demon on the cover. Oh yeah, golden demon on the cover. Yeah, I remember those. Wee big. We quit so many games because of it. Yes, changing things. And that's the thing we never realize, that we can still play the old system. We just never do.
Oh yeah.
You think that you can just go back and continue to play. The only game I've continued to play that's been multiple new editions is 40K Epic. That's the only system I've played over the years, from the last 30 years, that is the original scheme. For some reason, it just seems to work. I don't know why they had to change it, but Tim is the kind of wargamer every club needs a couple of to keep people in line. What you trying to say?
What are you saying? I am the hard ass.
No,
I am the curmudgeon.
maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, going back to the original topic,
Yeah.
the game plan. Now that we've talked about some other things and thought about it, I guess the game plan I have is I'm going to want to talk to my kid. I know my daughter really isn't interested in my miniatures. She used to play, do D&D campaigns, so some of those models might be handy to her for doing those, but don't know. Not sure if she would be interested in keeping them, but it'd be like talk to my kid and say, hey, what is this stuff here you're really interested in? Is it the 40K stuff, the Battletech stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to have me keep around? Because eventually I'm probably going to get rid of stuff just to unload it. Even though some of the stuff I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on it, like with my my Dystopian Wars. I love that game. With the previous edition. The new edition, not so much. But I keep thinking, it's like, hey, I want to go back and play that game. I've talked to Mel about it, and we talk. I say, hey, yeah, we could play it every once in a while, so he still has his stuff. But it'd be nice to be able to just sit down and throw some dice every once in a while from the old systems. But
and that is a consideration that as to whether you're going to play it or not, because like I'm coincidentally, I've got a game of Saga next week, Dark Ages, and I actually am with the same person looking at trying. I actually played a ton of Musket and Tomahawks, as you know, but I've never really played the Musket and Tomahawks 2, even though I bought it when it came out, and I've wanted to try the second edition. And I have a friend that's interested in that as well. And he owns the second edition rules, but he doesn't have anything painted up. And so we're going to try some Saga, play a couple of games of that. And then once we're kind of got some of those under our belt just to try it out, we're going to play some Musket and Tomahawks too. And, I think when you have certain things, and like, my Star Wars Armada, like I don't really want to get rid of that stuff anytime soon, because I can pick some games up and that I just really like. And I'm not going to get rid of stuff that I'm going to potentially use to game.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. I know that I've got a ton of books, rule books, army books and stuff that I'll never get to those armies. Remember we had a topic about games that we were interested in, we bought stuff for, but we know we'll never get around to playing.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff is probably the first thing that goes, and just pare it down, to the things that you really are passionate about. And it'll be. I think it'll be tough. It'll be harder on us to do than what we think.
It is.
Yeah, it's very hard. I remember when I was selling my undead and my beastmen collection, and it was gut wrenching, packing that stuff up and sending it off, and not all of it went to the same place. Some of it went here, some of it went there, and that was hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, the only see, I have like my 40K Tau army. I've had a large Tau army, and I sold the complete army to somebody. Boxed it all up. I have done that with some of the games, like we talked about. Had all the miniatures for it, all painted up, and wanted to get people interested in it, and they just wouldn't do it. And eventually, just like, if this is not going to happen, and I can't get anybody local to play this, I might as well just find somebody that wanted to find a new home for it, that they would appreciate it.
Right.
And that's what it has to come down to sometimes, is that you just like, things got to go.
Yeah.
I look at all my 40K stuff. I used to have my Orcs and Goblins. I got a video up of my Orcs and Goblin army. The big table over here, it fills the table. It's huge. We're probably talking 10,000 points of Orcs and Goblins for 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I got a lot, and that is not the whole thing. I started selling it off. I sold off a whole bunch of my Rogue Trader Orcs that I had before my brother sucked me back into playing 40K again. And I still remember, it's like, "Do you ever heard this game called 40K?" And I said, "Yes." It's like, "It's really cool. We've been playing it. You ever thought about ever getting into it?" And it's like, I've been playing that game for decades.
Yeah.
And I just started selling my stuff off. And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I just started selling all my Rogue Trader stuff," because that was what was selling the best, because people wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I first got into it. It was Rogue Trader. That was where we were playing over at Alliance Miniatures. It was the first army I started playing with, Orcs. And it was really cool. It was like, I built my battle wagon. I remember the old rules was that you had to, the number of models that would fit onto the Orc battle wagon was how many you could transport. And so I scratch built my own battle wagon that was a little bit larger, so I could stack models up into it. And which was kind of cool how I did that. But I just think about all the knobs and all the different Orc models. I had my kill cans and Orc dreadnoughts and stuff that I had with little snippy claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got those right in that cabinet right there.
Yeah, I got one left. Still got
I
one
got
left.
two. I got one that's a double decker. It's got like two. There's a short ones, and then you got the double decker ones that are like basically another torso above with another set of either guns or claws.
Yeah. So that's the one army I could pare it down to like a manageable, like 3,000 point army and still be happy. That was something I was doing today. I was going through the shelves over there, and I realized I still have boxes of Orcs for that army that I haven't even put together yet.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of Storm Boys. I got boxes of Storm Boys and Orc Killicans and the new bombers and fighter bombers and stuff like that. And it's like,
Wow.
oh man, they're just still sitting in the boxes. I haven't done anything with them yet. And I found a Imperial Guard Chimera and 3 Warwalkers.
Sounds like there's like somebody's got one of those cow toys that you flip up and down and makes the cow noise.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
What is that?
That's his chair.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing like.
As it rocks back and forth, it squeaks. Let's see, what else did I find? I got 3 Eldar Warwalkers that I found today.
Wow.
Yeah.
The metal ones, or
Oh, they're the new plastic ones.
New plastic. Nice.
So I got a bunch of stuff that are just sitting on that shelf over there that's been hidden behind other boxes of models. It's like, ooh, yeah, maybe I should think about putting them together or just getting rid of them.
Yeah.
And I've pulled out one box that was in there. We're talking a big box. It's like one of the boxes that you get the printer paper that comes in.
Yeah.
They're all the reams fit in the big box. It's full of demons. Still on sprues.
Wow.
Which demons?
Some corn and Slaanesh. Now, there might even be some Nurgle plague bearers too.
Yeah, that was another army I sold. Was my Chaos Demons. I sold those. Yeah.
Yeah, I
got
got
lots of plague bearers.
You did a video not too long ago, Rusty, on all your demons.
Yeah, I found I got more. Lots more. Like the other day, Jesse was asking me, "Oh, I'm not sure if I want to play Warhammer Fantasy. If I want to play the dwarves," and it's like, I have a small dwarf army. It's maybe 1,500 points in today's point. It was about 2,500 points in the old system, but in the new system, it's about 1,500 because they've made things cheaper, so you have to buy more models. And he said, "Well, I'm not sure if I want to try that." And I said, "Yeah, it's an interesting army. It's a gunline army with blocks of troops." And he's like, "Well, he's been buying Khorne Demon Army to play for Age of Sigmar." And I said, "Well, you do have a Demon Army too, so you could be playing that." BattleTech.
It's
all gone.
Yeah, mine's gone.
Well, almost done.
Goes quick.
I finished my drink. I'm done.
Your timing is impeccable. We got there's about 10 minutes left. So
yeah. There's some more. Would love to get the heavy gear now, but so deep into BattleTech, I only have to ditch the heavy gear eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy gear is an interesting system. I've played it at Gen Con and Origins before. They had games of it there, demoing it. It was interesting, but I was like, I'm already heavy into BattleTech because I didn't feel like getting into it. Mm-hmm. But I could see the appeal of it because it's another stompy bot type game. Books is the thing I buy the most this year. I had cut back so much on how many I buy till a local guy passes away. Then I bought 158 books, mostly Osprey books. Oof. Osprey books are nice to have as reference books.
Oh yeah, they're great reference. Even like for color ideas and stuff. When you look at an Angus McBride painting or print in one of those books, and it's like, oh, I'll try to mimic that. I'll do the best I can, or those are the colors I'll use. I might switch them up a little bit, but that sort of thing. I love my Osprey books.
I think the first Osprey book I bought was the Dark Age books for when I started painting my 15 mils. Dark Age stuff. And then I used to have a bunch of them for my Napoleonics.
Yeah.
Because each faction you had to have, for this army, that army. It was always nice to have a bunch of them. Then when I started selling off when I finally sold off all of my Napoleonics, I sold them off on a big lot on eBay. made some money off of them. But they are nice to have.
Yes, they are. I got a bunch of those. I got basically a library in the other room goes around a couple of walls. Yeah.
It's not hoarding if it's books, especially reference books. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never hoarding.
Because it's knowledge.
Exactly. A library is not hoarding. That's enlightenment. There you go. Educational.
Yeah.
Orc spores in that basement have got to be pretty bad. You'll always have more orcs at this point. Wow, for days.
Yeah.
Well, they are boxed up in a large containment facility. So, and they're surrounded by Eldar on one side and space wolves on the other. So those two armies keep them in check. So it's just like in Night at the Museum. They escape out and then they get slaughtered by the other armies, and it's a balance. And make sure you always have your force fields up, to keep them in check. I wish heavy gear was not so much money here in Canada. It's made, and that's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of games. Well, they're still done in metal, aren't they? So if they're still in metal, I believe that would increases the cost of it even more. It's the same thing like with the BattleTech miniatures. You can buy them from Iron Wind, $15-$16 for one model, or pay $25 and get 4 or 5. It's like a plastics from Catalyst now. Makes a big difference. But the grand scheme of things, we do have to figure out what to get rid of eventually.
Yep.
Or just let somebody else do it for us.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the best thing, but
if it was up to my wife, it'd probably just go in the garbage.
Yeah.
She would.
Yeah, it's like if I died suddenly, I would hate to think what somebody would think, like, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff? I don't know what even. Well, like most people don't even know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then another thing is I grow a lot of I got tons of house plants, and I keep outside in the summertime and bring them in the house, and I take care of them, and they're like little kids practically for me. But I got tons of them. At the moment, if something happened to me, within a month or two, they're dead. My wife wouldn't even look at them. It's like she just wouldn't even think about watering them. That was an issue I always had when I would go on deployments, and I'd come back and stuff would be dead. She even killed my fish. It's like, what happened?
What kind of fish did you have?
I had my biggest one was my piranha.
Okay.
And poor Jaws starved to death. He eaten everything in the tank, including the snails. He got so hungry. So I used to do is just go to the bait shop and buy a bucket of live minnows and just throw them in a tank with him, and he just self-feed himself for a month or more. And eventually it's like, oh, I'm not seeing any more minnows in the tank, so I'll just go buy another couple dozen and just throw them in. And he just, whenever he's hungry, he'd grab one and chomp it up.
Could you imagine if you lived in a house and there was just like pizzas and hamburgers floating around the entire house all the time, and you could just eat them whenever you wanted, but when you were full, they just kept floating around you while you were watching TV and stuff?
Just reach out.
But when you're not hungry, it's like there's a pizza kind of floating near you. You're like, oh, hey, pizza.
Maybe tomorrow.
I'll deal with you tomorrow. But for now, we're watching the game.
But Yeah, I came back 6 months later and said, "Where's Jaws?" "Oh, he died." "Did you feed him?" "No." Oh my gosh, Jaws, poor Jaws. It's like having your prawn. It's like with the big nasty teeth. I'd sit there and when he's full, he'd never get hungry. Just like we even had a algae eater that was in the tank with him, and he ate him too.
Josh just jumped in. Hey, Josh.
Hey,
You're just catching us 3 minutes before we're ending.
yeah, we're about ready to call it a night. You have to say, how was the trip?
Yes.
Oh, he says he's still watching our last show. Well, yeah, you're catching up from the last one. That's good. Yeah, this one was kind of like, without Dan, we were kind of boring. Dan's on the tractor.
Yes.
He missed the show because he had to go bring in the crops. He's probably doing corn right now. Most likely.
Well, I probably can't push the time tonight. I probably need to get going.
Yeah, do the rescue.
Yeah, I've got just to see how people are doing and stuff. That was kind of, hopefully they're doing better than before.
Yes.
And so, it's good chatting tonight. We didn't make it to the second topic, but we could certainly do it on the next show.
Yeah, so definitely we already have our next topic already hardwired in, so you can put that up.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so it's nice, no painting for 2 weeks, so catching up now. Well, yep. It's a bit of work when everything's been waiting on hold. So, all right, so we've been at it for about 2 hours. So I guess we'll be calling it a night. So in 2 weeks will be the, let's see, 23rd.
Oh, we got Matthew Merrick in the house.
Oh,
Thanks for watching, Matthew.
Yeah, you're a lurker, most likely, all night.
All right. Yes, it'll be around then, Rusty, I think.
Okay.
Because it's the 9th right now, so.
All right. So we'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks over in Palmer's channel. Appreciate all the comments tonight. Kept us entertained. And as we went off on a massive tangent for a while. Malifaux. Who would have thought Malifaux would take over the show?
So much Malifaux. That's got to be our new slogan. So much Malifaux.
That's so Malifaux of you.
So much Malifaux. That's so Malifaux.
All right. So, all right. We'll see everybody in a couple weeks on Palmer's channel. Good night, everybody.
See you, everybody.